What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another video, and today we're doing something I've never done before. We're going to be doing a random BBTS unboxing review. Now, I have opened boxes from BBTS before, but the way that I've done it is that I did individual reviews of those figures, whereas today I'm kind of just going to go and show what's in this box and do like little mini reviews as I take the things out. So I got a bunch of things that are a little bit older, but you know, you got to ship that pile of loot sometimes. So you know, let's get all this paper out of here and just kind of start grabbing stuff. So first thing I picked up was Death's Head, which is awesome from Marvel Legends. I guess it was a Comic-Con exclusive, and then it went everywhere. So when it went up for pre-order, art looks awesome. When it went up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, I was like, I have to get this one. So we'll start with Death's Head. I'll review them in order as I take them out. Oh yeah, I see these guys. Boom. Whoops. Finally got my hands on the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Dhalsim and M. Bison. I'm like losing my words right now because I've wanted Dhalsim so bad, and I like M. Bison a lot too. I mean, I'm all in on this line. So the art looks great as always on these guys. We're getting the whole roster. I cannot wait. There's the barcode for Dhalsim and for M. Bison if you're looking for it. But yeah, very, very excited for these guys. So then we'll take a look at them. I did manage to get my hands on the Scarlet Spider from the Marvel Legends Retro Wave. Very excited for this too. This is the reason I had to ship my pile of loot. I only had like 3 more days to ship it. So I was like, let's see what we got in there. So definitely going to take a quick look at him as well. And then finally, with this big old box out of here, I got the Premium DNA Toys Banjo and Kazooie, or Banjo-Kazooie. This is the flocked version. They had a sale this summer where this was only $40. And I was like, no way. So, yeah, I went and picked it up. It looks awesome. Not the biggest Banjo-Kazooie fan, you know, I know more from Smash and things, but it's cool for the video game shelf, and for $40 versus like the original like $75 that it was, I had the money at the time. I was like, sure, why not? And so they had the flocked version. Why not? So with that being said, these are the things that I will be looking at today. So pop that back on there. We have this, and these guys to be taking a look at today, and I'm very excited. So like I said, let's go ahead and start with Death's Head. So getting Death's Head out of the package, he's pretty much what I expected, but what I expected was pretty awesome. So I think he looks great. I really like all the paintwork that they put on this guy, and they did put a lot of effort into making him look really nice, as I really like the metallic blues. There's also like a little bit of like burn marks, like I guess where he got shot in his galactic battles. It looks awesome. I mean, I consider bounty hunters relatively good guys, or like anti-heroes. So like he's going to go with my heroes for now. I know some people would oppose to that, but for me, he's a cool enough design to warrant wanting to put that on there. So the paint gets a little messed up there, but nothing crazy. But he looks great. I think he looks awesome. We're not going to go super in-depth with each one just to make sure that this video isn't like 40 minutes long, but you know, we kind of see how it is. So he looks great. Love the texture on the cape, very McFarlane-esque. Looks really nice. He comes with a bunch of accessories, including, he does come with an open hand and a gripping hand on him in the packaging. I would have liked the full set of each of these, so like 2 gripping hands and 2 splayed out hands, but at least he comes with 2 fists. That's what I care about. He comes with all these interchangeable arm pieces, so you get like a missile almost, an axe, and a mace. So that's pretty cool. So if you want, you can pop these hands off and pop these in their place. I believe all of them pop in, which is really cool. But if you don't want to use them, you do get this shield as well. A little bit of paint and scuff marks on there. And I believe each of these weapons clip onto here. I believe that's what this is for. I could be wrong. And then you could put this in his back. So it like stores all the weapons, which is really cool. I think it's funny that he comes with this little shield. Like, I don't really know what that's gonna be helpful for a big guy like him. But it does have that stupid thing where it's like you have to grip the shield, and it doesn't really work when he has the weapons in there. So you gotta pick your poison with that. But everything looks nice, relatively speaking. Pop the hand back in there. There's no articulation on any of these hands, but we'll go over articulation really quick because he is some reuse from the Colossus figure. I think the upper torso is, the arms are, but I think that's it because I think he has different legs. That Colossus had pins in the legs. I do know that. So, or the head goes all the way up. By the way, it's such a badass design. Head goes down, rotate side to side, and pivot. This is like a separate piece. I guess it is pegged in though, so I wish they glued it down in the front. I might do that just because if you can't take it off anyway, might as well glue it down because this floating kind of bothers me. Shoulder goes upwards that far. It'll go down. It'll rotate 360. Bicep swivel. Single jointed elbows, which are reused from that Colossus, and then the wrist swivel and hinge. This hand kind of tends to pop out on me a lot, but not that big a deal. He will crunch forward all the way. I like this ab crunch. It works with the design. I don't like these flat bits there, but whatever. You do get a waist twist. Hips go outwards that far. They'll go down. They'll kick forward. They even painted his little trunks up there. They'll go forward, back, upper thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees, which again, these are definitely new. A little loose on the top joint there, but it's only on that side. Boot swivel. We like our boot rotation. Ankles go up kind of far all the way back, and we'll pivot despite having those spikes at the ankles. So yeah, overall, I'd say that Death's Head is a nice addition to the Marvel Legends line. Pretty awesome figure. So getting the Street Fighter figures out of the packaging. Is it any surprise that these things are freaking amazing? I mean, I went into this being like, oh, Dhalsim's going to be so much better, but at this point, I don't even know who I like better. They're both done so well. Let's talk about Dhalsim first, because I'm more excited about him. The head sculpt is perfect. All the face paint looks fantastic. The skulls look a little weird, but I might glue them down just because I don't really like them flopping around. You get a little bit of subtle paint shading throughout the body, and on the pants you get to see a little bit of orange on like his shorts. The bands look great on the arms. I love that these bracelets are separate pieces. I know some people were annoyed about that. I love it. He also has real earrings, which is really cool. So, if you want to get crazy with the poses, I mean, obviously, if he's cooking up a storm, it's going to be like, so that's super cool. The musculature is perfect. I love the skin tone. Oh, man, the feet look as big as they need to be. Like that's a proportion thing. And they're supposed to be like that. And I love that. It just looks fantastic. He looks so menacing. It's awesome. And then what's even cooler is the amount of stuff he comes with. So you get a pair of open hands, just for the regular arms gripping hands. You get an alternate head, which also has real earrings, and you can have them screaming. Ooh, the screaming head. I don't know which one I like more. I think for Dhalsim I like the more chill head, but that is so good too. You get a figure stand to help with the accessories, which we'll show off in a second. The effect parts, 2 points in it. It's actually like relatively sturdy, like it doesn't just fall apart in my hand. And then you get the long appendages. And oh, man. I wish they were done slightly different, but what is here is still fantastic. So for the arms, you're going to pop it out at the bicep. Just be careful. You don't, if it's not going, heat it up. I already did it a couple times, so I know that mine are okay. Pop that off, and then pop this on. Okay, and then you get the long arms. And the bendy wire in these is so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I saw reviews, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. But, like, let's just get him standing here for just a second. Like, that is so badass, dude. You can have, like, this one doesn't stand too well, but, like, you can have him, like, kick in his arm back, like, Oh, man, that is so cool. And then the legs. This is my first time doing it with the legs, but they popped out. Boom, baby. That was even easier than the arms. I mean, you can't really get him to stand on these, but that's not the point because his feet are kind of arched. But the legs have... Oh, man. Dude, that... Seeing characters do what their powers and abilities are, it just makes me so happy because we don't get to see that too often with certain companies, which we'll see shortly, but... Can't get that. There you go. Like, look at how awesome that is. That is so badass. You got the bicep swivel there. That looks fantastic. Kind of have him doing his kick. That's what the figure stand is for, is to potentially help him balance on this. I mean, I guess you could, if you really finagled it, you could probably get him to stand on these. But good luck. I would not say that you're gonna have a great choice with that. You could do like a 3-point stance. That looks pretty awesome. Oh, man, I love this. This is so badass. So cool. So, I want to leave the long arms on him, but I got to show articulation. I mean, just, like, look at that. That is so cool. So, for the arms, we'll do it like this. For the arms, they got double joints. They'll go all the way, and then the wrist swivel and hinge on all the hands. Same with the legs. You get a thigh twist. You get double jointed knees, all pinless, calf rotation at the top of the band, and then the feet go up and down, and we'll pivot on here. There's no wrist articulation or ankle articulation on these hands, which is something I wish they did, because you're not really getting any bendiness down here, maybe a little bit, but if you just plugged it into there and like kind of made this part interchangeable too, you could have like a fully articulated leg and arm. I'm not upset that they did that or that they didn't do that, but it would have been cool if they could have figured that out. In terms of the head, it's on that double neck, double jointed head thing, so it's perfect. Love that setup. That's my favorite setup for the head. Shoulders go past horizontal, they'll go down. Bicep swivel even on the stretchy arms, and he does have a butterfly joint. It doesn't go much, but it helps a little bit. He's kicking the camera. The diaphragm joints on these figures are the best around. He can crunch forward and back, and then pivot side to side and rotate. Not at the top too much, but at the bottom. So you can definitely get them in like these crunchy poses that you need to. The hips, full splits, no drop down because you don't fucking need it. And then they kick forward and back, and we do get a thigh twist on the stretchy legs too. So yeah, I'm loving Dalsim. I think he's awesome. A lot of people say he's the best so far. There's an argument there. I don't know what one's my favorite so far because they just keep killing it. They haven't made my favorite character yet. I'm a big Balrog, E Honda, and Blanca guy, so I'm happy to see that they're coming, but these are just awesome. And M. Bison is like just as good. Like, he's really well done. I love the texture all over his body. The silver is so bright and shiny. The wired cape looks perfect and holds its own weight. I mean, you can get this thing straight up. And that is so good, especially for him. You know, I like to like put my finger back there and then kind of like pose it from there, because like that's kind of like how he usually does it. But I mean, if you want it down, you can have it down. If you want it straight up, flying to the side, like you can do anything with it. The paint is so clean throughout. He looks awesome. I do wish he was a little bit bigger. I always picture M. Bison being a little bit bigger and menacing, but it's not bothering me too much here. Not as much as I thought. He also comes with a good amount of accessories, including some alternate hands. So, you know, you got to get his open hands for his fighting poses, his special moves, finishers. They look awesome. You get an alternate head, which is definitely my preferred of the two. The angry head. I think that looks fantastic. That looks great. Really, really like the expression on his face. I'm going to leave that one on there because I just think that looks cooler. You get these interchangeable clips for the cape if you want to take the cape off. I'm not going to do it because I like the cape. It'll have R and L on the inside, so I need left for this side. And you just kind of match the shape, which I am apparently having trouble doing. Boom. And these can get rid of the cape look, which may be for space or posing, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. I think it's awesome. And then finally, you do get his blast effect for his finisher. So I think it pops on either side. I don't really know. But bam, that just, oh, let's get that cape posed, buddy. Like, that looks so badass. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm not even like the biggest Street Fighter fan. Like, I've played a bunch of times at like arcades near me, and you know, there's like this one comic book store that I go to that has it, and I play that Mortal Kombat there on the box. But like, it's just, they're just such fun figures. How can you not love these things? So the head is going to pivot side to side. He'll look up and down, rotate all around. It's beautiful. Great setup. Shoulder goes up, down. They'll rotate 360. You can get it in there. These are in between, and they'll rotate all around. They do not get in the way at all. And I think his butterfly joint works even better than Dalsim's, which I was not expecting, but works really nice. Bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, and then wrist swivel and hinge on all the hands. His diaphragm joint, he's going to crunch pretty far forward. Not as far as everybody else, but he's a little bit chunkier. Back, no gappage, because they know how to make action figures. Pivot side to side, and we'll rotate there. Looks great. Hips. Notice this. We're getting full splits. No drop down. Big legs. Keep that in mind. Kick forward. Back. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. And this is my only problem with the figure, is I wish they found a way to maybe paint that joint. It does really like take away from it for me. But other than that, it doesn't bother me too much. And that's a pretty small nitpick in the grand scheme of this figure, but it does bother me. The ankles go down and up and pivot. So, yeah, he's pretty awesome. I have not put him down since I got him. He is just so much fun to play with and looks fantastic doing it. Then we have Scarlet Spider. And this is a cool figure. It's not bad, but it's just like coming off the high of these two, considering I think I paid like $1 more for this guy. It's just like, this is like, whatever. Taking a look at the head sculpt here. It's clean. It's crisp. It's what it needs to be. Excuse me. Clean and crisp. The paint on the jacket looks good. This is a separate piece for the hood. And then it's just the body we've seen a million times. This is just an overlay piece. There's nothing new in there, I don't think. I don't know. It works good with the articulation. But you get the bands that are the cheap plastic. And then you do get all the buckles and stuff painted, which is nice. I do enjoy that. You get the toe hinge, but it just is bland. It's just bland. And again, maybe I thought it would be better like on its own, but after playing with these for the same price, it's like these guys have paint shading and textures, and this has none of that. I think it has like an ever so slight texture on the jacket, which I do like. I think that's cool, but it just doesn't match the rest of the figure. So, yeah. And then you get some awesome accessories with this guy. You get whippy hands and open hands that we've both seen a million times. So, whatever. No webs, no alternate head, nothing. And then you get this terrible neck joint. I despise this neck joint. Whoever designed this should be fired. Like, what is that? So bad. And it doesn't even work. Look at the pivot. Like, barely does anything. This would have been a perfect figure to put a neck joint in. It's whatever. Butterfly joint does work pretty good on this guy. I'll give them that all day. I like their butterfly joint on this Sunfire Buck. Bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, and then the wrist swivel and hinge. You do get a diaphragm joint in here. So I like that. I think that they thought that through. That's nice. I thought that was really well done. Okay, so let's take a look at these hips here. They're drop downs. Okay, no drop gets to about there. With drop does not get much further. Okay, that's as far as it can go. With drop. Look at how much thinner his leg is. Okay. Please explain that. Like, seriously, please, somebody explain that. That makes no sense. All these Hasbro people are always like, oh, you know, you got this, that. Man, shut the hell up, man. Such a bad design. Kicks forward, back, upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and then the shin swivel, which I despise. I mean, Dalsim, to be fair, has it like that too, but it's a lot less noticeable on him. And that's partially because of the design, but it's just, I hate that joint. I almost always do. The ankles do work pretty good. They go up and down and pivot good. And then he does have a little toe hinge. So, I hate the hips on this thing. I feel like they're not going up all the way. I do not like that. But, I mean, it's not terrible. Again, it's something that I was looking forward to. It's just like, after playing with these, going to this is like night and day. This is like nothing compared to them. Getting Banjo and Kazooie out of the package. I mean, this is pretty much what I expected. The flocking's fallen off in the joints, and that makes sense. I'm honestly not upset about that. This is a weird flocking. It's more like fur. Like it's really kind of cool. And I think it's a really good effect. It works really nice here. Now, I would not have gotten or opted for the flocked version if for two reasons. One, they have the same price. This was $40 when the other one was also $40. So I was like, okay. And two, if this was a super articulated character, but it's not. So that doesn't bother me at all that this, you know, whatever. Like for me, he's gonna just stand there pretty much holding a banjo, and he can do that. So I'm not upset about that. I would not have opted for it if it was like a flocked Spider-Man or something, you know. Like, we're not gonna want that. So let's take her off just to make it a little bit easier. She's a lot bigger than I thought she was gonna be. The wingspan's huge. She has no interchangeable wings, unfortunately, but what's here is nice. I really do like the paint on her wings. Get the kazoo in her mouth, of course. The eyes look good. There's a couple paint splotches here and there that bother me. A little bit more on Banjo, but look, it looks pretty good. She also comes with this interchangeable butt piece to like pop in here, but this does not work. You have to like angle her wings like all the way back. There's no joints in the ankles at all, and it's just like she just can't go back far enough. Like, maybe she can. No. If you don't have the wings arced back, she's not going to stand. I'll tell you that right now. So, kind of an odd choice, not going to lie. But, I mean, she works. As far as other articulation, it's a ball peg at the head. Just getting her out of the way. The ball pegs on there do work. You do get a waist twist if you put her on here. And then the legs just kind of ball pegged. Or just ball pegs. So, oh, there is a thigh swivel. So maybe, I don't know. Like, oh, that on the leg looks terrible. It's like when you peel off a sticker. I don't know why it's like that. Maybe you can, that actually doesn't look too bad. I may take it back a little bit. Maybe not. No, that's fine. I'll take it back a little bit. It's nice. It doesn't have to be this complicated, but, you know, whatever. And then for Banjo himself, again, I think he looks great. I think his head sculpt looks a lot better in person than it did on the like promo images. I like the subtle shading on the skin parts, which are not flocked, and I like that contrast. Get his backpack, and obviously that's where Kazooie plugs in. And, you know, the sculpt really works in this context. I don't like these, like, flakes. Like, these, like, parts that fall off when you twist the arm. But, like, you can still see the sculpt really nice. I like the paint on the pants and the belt. The legs, not a big fan of how they did the legs. I thought that there would be a hinge in there, and maybe there is, but it really does not work for me. The feet look really nice. A couple scuffs here and there. The claws look good. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I mean, it's bigger than I thought he was going to be, and that's cool. I mean, he's a bear, so yeah, not bad. His necklace is a separate piece. In terms of accessories for him, you do get an alternate pair of hands. You get these big, like, paw hands. I like these. We'll use these in a second. But the paint is just weird. Like, It just chips off like instantly. You do get an alternate head with his mouth closed, which is not nearly as funny and cool as the smiling cheesing one. I definitely like that one better, but it's nice to have options. This is obviously also flocked. You do get his banjo. How could you not? So for me, probably gonna pose him like this. Oh, that was in. There we go. It's just, you got to be careful. You don't want to miss and then scrape off like a whole thing flocking. But again, I was fine. I knew that going into this. Like, flocking is not for every character. Okay, that's going to annoy me. Do his hands not hold this? I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Unless I'm doing it wrong. But, like, he can't hold it. Yeah, I don't like that. That's going to piss me off. Okay, so he really can't hold his banjo. It's like, again, like, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but... like, that's, like, the best he's going to be able to hold it? Really? I don't like that. Yeah, that pisses me off a little bit. And then he gets his puzzle piece. You know, you collect them through the game. Can't hold that neither. And that one little scrape took paint off. Why are these hands not big enough? I don't know. Or too big, but... I don't know. That's frustrating. I hope I can fix that. If not, then that's, you know, going to dock this guy some points. The articulation is as follows. It's really just going to rotate at the head. This necklace kind of gets in the way, but, you know, again, I don't really think he needs to do much. You get a pivot. Shoulders go up. They'll go down. They'll rotate 360. I would just be really careful. I wouldn't do that a lot. It's definitely going to scrape the flocking off. And then single jointed rotating elbows, which are fine. They work fine. I actually think that the joint is better than I thought it was going to be. All the wrists swivel and hinge. The diaphragm joint works surprisingly well. It's forward and back and pivot all the way around. The diaphragm joint is easily the best joint on this guy. No waist twist, but he doesn't really need it. The hips don't go out far at all, and they'll kind of just rotate at the hip. You do get a rotation at the single jointed knee. That goes about that far, and that'll rotate, yeah. And then, does it rotate up in here? No, it doesn't, but ankles are pretty good. They'll go up and down and pivot. So, he doesn't need crazy articulation, and what's here is fine. Just be careful with, you know, the way you move the joints. But damn, that really pisses me off that he cannot hold this. That is really, really stupid. I do not care for that. Yeah, I do not care for that. Not one bit. So, yeah, and then obviously, as we saw at the beginning of the video, he stands no problem with Kazooie in his backpack. You know, you gotta balance. Honestly, he's like heavy as shit, so like you really don't have a problem balancing it at all. So, pretty good. A good set overall, just, I don't like the band. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do size comparisons today just because I don't feel like doing that individually for each one of them, but this is a pretty good assortment of action figures. Now, I do have my problems with a couple of them, so I'll start at the one that I was most disappointed for and then work my way up. Scarlet Spider was easily the one that I was most disappointed. I was looking forward to that figure, but just seeing what Jada can do for the same price point, it's just like insane to me that Hasbro even tries to like justify this stuff with licensing and stuff. I don't get it. So whatever, a little disappointing. Not completely terrible by any means, but definitely disappointing. Next up is going to be Banjo and Kazooie, not because of the flocking or the posability. I expected that going in there. I opted for the fuzzy one. That's, you know, I can't fault them for sending me that. But what I don't like, and this seems like it's a problem with the normal one, is that he can't hold the banjo. Why? Why would they do that? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, most people are going to want him holding the banjo, so now I got to figure out what I need to do. And these hands are thick and hard, so pause. But getting them to, you know, soften up and reshape is not going to be an easy task. Then I'm going to go with Death's Head. I think Death's Head is really cool. And for 40 bucks, I don't think it's terrible. Maybe 35 would have been a little bit better, but 40 bucks is not terrible for him because I got a lot of good paint, comes with a lot of good stuff, and the posability is there. But tied for number one is going to be the Jada Toy Street Fighter figures. As always, they are killing it with this line. It is probably my favorite line to collect, or one of them right now, because of just how fun they are to pose. I just wish it was characters I cared more about. Like, that's why I can't wait for the Scooby-Doo ones, because they are going to be fantastic because I care about Scooby-Doo. Not that I don't like Street Fighter, but it's just not necessarily my thing. So with that being said, at a price point, let's do individual ones. At a price point, 25 bucks for Scarlet Spider, he can get a 7, maybe a 6.5. It's passable, it's fine, but it's just lazy. For the Death's Head, I'll give him an 8. I think he's pretty good, just maybe a little bit pricey, and some silver would have been nice on these parts. Now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty dull silver. If they did like the metallic one like they did up here, that would have been great. As far as Banjo and Kazooie is concerned, for 40 bucks, I'm going to keep that in mind. I paid 40 for this. I'll give it an 8. I think it's also pretty solid. It would have been like a 10 for 40 bucks if he could have held the thing, but that's gonna bring him down a lot. And then, to no surprise, the Jada Toy Street Fighter figures are 10 out of 10s. I think they're fantastic. 25 bucks, the amount of stuff you get in that box, it's action figure perfection. So with that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. I post a lot on all those apps, and I have a great time, so I'm sure you will too. But as always, let me know, what are you copping? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.